today. From SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. It's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers taking on Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns.
From the site of Super Bowl 56, set to be contested this upcoming February, we are at the gorgeous new SoFi Stadium here in Inglewood. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Los Angeles Chargers. Everybody, Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, we take a look at this Charger club entering play here. They come into this one fresh off a victory that finally snapped a 6-game losing streak.
And there's nothing like that win that makes everyone happier in the locker room, better on the practice field, and they usually play a whole lot better that next game out as well.
Meanwhile, for the Browns here, they've been flawless all year long as they hit the home stretch at 13-0.
And now they just have to guard against complacency. You still got to go out and earn it every week.
This will make it into the end zone, and they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. And at quarterback from the University of Oregon, it's Justin Herbert.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. Here's the first carry for Austin Eckler. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 16 carries, 60 yards.
And to me, the goal is the exact same thing as last week. Get him the ball early and often. I think he's got another big game in him in this one.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Off the play fake to Eckler, it's Herbert. Hunter Henry brings it in. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 7 yards there and a first down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
A carry here for the big tight end. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And down right around the 37. Oh, yeah! A good pickup there, 26 yards.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
They'll run out of the gun with Eckler. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
33-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Herbert will give this one to Eckler. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Herbert. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
Now Jason Sanders for the field goal try. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. Sanders' kick is good. And the Chargers grab themselves a 3-0 lead.
Chargers 3, Browns nothing.
Even though they didn't find the end zone, they have to be pretty pleased with how they moved the ball on the ground because we know that that was one of their big goals in this game.
And that really goes through the entire offense because when you're running the ball effectively, just about everyone's involved. It's not just the guy carrying the football. It's everyone blocking for him, both inside and on the perimeter.
Here's the Cleveland offense, and here's Baker Mayfield, former Heisman Trophy winner, ready to go at quarterback.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Solid way to start the drive, 13 yards, picking up the first. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. They run again on 1st down, Chubb. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
He was taken down at the
A check on the numbers for Chubb from a week ago. There isn't a coach alive who wouldn't like those numbers. Well over 100 yards and a touchdown, too.
Partner, I think all the coaches who are in that great coaching box in the sky would take those numbers.
So dead or alive?
Either way, they would take that kind of production.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
14 yards, and it's a Cleveland 1st down.
Nice little nifty play for them there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield, because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody cover. Oh, he just snuck out there.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Austin Hooper, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Browns have taken the lead.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will make it into the end zone. And no return here for Reed. This will be a touchback.
25-yard line.
The Chargers get set to go here for their second drive. Partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but there's that special one there. I say they go get him.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
28-yard line.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
Going to throw on third down with Herbert. That's complete to Austin Eckler, the running back. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And I think that's a pretty good illustration of why they try to get the football into his hands out of the backfield. That was something else.
And we talk so much from a defensive perspective about scheming and finding ways to take away the run. That means the offense has to devise different ways to get the ball in the hands of their guy out of the backfield. Find open space, let him run, and big things can happen, and they did right there.
And according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one, better than 20 miles an hour. On first down, it's Herbert. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off. And he'll take this all the way down inside the 40. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb, and he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Now a first carry for their fullback. It'll be a gain of 3, and it also takes us to the end of the first quarter of play. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. To throw, Mayfield. And it's complete. Hooper. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Austin Hooper. His second touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Browns add 6 to their lead.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
Gano for the extra point. This one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off by the Browns touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Now this will make it into the end zone. And this will come out to the 25 as Reed opts for the touchback.
25-yard line.
Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. Their deficit is 11, 14-3, and needing to get something going here as they come up on 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
On 2nd and 10, the ball back with Herbert. On the screen, this is Eckler. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big gain.
This defense tightening up a bit. That last catch just 1 yard, making it 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, here's Herbert. He sets to fire deep. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to nerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one, or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
The Browns drive about to get started. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
At the 29-yard line.
Here's Mayfield. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. The 40. And great yardage here all the way deep into Los Angeles territory.
Roughing the passer, defense.
What they call? So a little extra on top of the big play there.
It's tough for guys rushing the passer, but you have to know when the ball is gone. And if you listen, officials will tell you ball's gone. He didn't pull up.
Following the penalty, Chubb. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb, touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Browns add on to their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Gano the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded in the end zone. And no return here for Reed. This will be a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
The attention shifts back to Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 for the 26.
26-yard line.
Out of the gun, Herbert. He's going to air one out. It's caught inside the 25. And he is finally out of bounds, but he gets all the way down right around the 20. Sometimes you just got to marvel at how these guys can throw the football. He gave that everything he had, and it was right on the money.
And to be honest, this first half hasn't been anything they'd be really proud about. So they needed something like this to change their fortunes. Now they need to make sure they finish this one off, not just with points, but with a touchdown.
And the final number on that throw, boy, it traveled an even 69 yards. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Operating from the gun. Herbert, open man is Reed. He's got it. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Now he's got it, and he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Nice gain of 8 that time, and it's 2nd and goal.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Second and goal from the 1. Herbert throwing again. And he's got his man. It's Henry for a Chargers touchdown. Hunter Henry, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Chargers are able to close the gap just a bit.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run, and he finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. It's up and good, and the lead is down now at 11. It's 21-10. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And it ends with the Chargers getting into the end zone. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Fielded just outside the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
Their own 23-yard line.
All right, gearing up for another drive here. Austin Hooper trots back out. And what can they do to better account for him? Because they haven't accounted for him well so far as we see here on your screen.
They may have to draw up coverages they haven't run so far. They have to create something on the fly because he's beaten everything. And when you watch this game unfold, you keep thinking to yourself, is it 2 men, 3 men, maybe even a 4th guy may have to go and account for him. But right now, he's shredding the defense.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. The Browns drive about to get started. The ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Odell Beckham hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever. There it results in a touchdown. And the lead is up to 18 now. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this carries into the end zone. And this will come out to the 25 as Reed opts for the touchback. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
On Herbert, his 3rd interception. It's the linebacker, Michael Kendricks. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown. Gano now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And this will make it into the end zone. And no return here for Reed. This will be a touchback. 25-yard line. L.A. readies for its next possession. And they just had that pick 6. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there, it's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Back to the air. Herbert on 2nd down. He'll get that complete to Reed. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Herbert on 3rd down now.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. Back deep, Jarvis Landry. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
Mayfield on first down. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And this will be caught at the 30. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there just before halftime. 54 yards. Baker Mayfield only 6'1", but he can certainly sling it, and we saw evidence of that right there.
And he made that look effortless, didn't he? I mean, he's had a great game throwing the football. This is going to add to his yardage total in a big way. It's one thing to be accurate on your short and intermediate throws, but when you're hitting the bombs like those, look out.
And you can see in the next-gen stats, that one 62 yards in the air. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Donovan Peoples-Jones as the first half is winding down. And this offense is running away with this one.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Gano for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
On the return, the Chargers take over 1st and 10.
The Charger drive about to get going. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. From the gun, Herbert. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. The final shot before the break for Herbert. And it's complete. Henry. And he goes out right around the 39. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll start our tour in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. And just a field goal separating these two sides as they've gone to halftime. Derek Carr has a couple of touchdown passes there. From there, we head over to the Pacific Northwest, check on the Seahawks at home in Seattle. and they trail the visiting Buccaneers as that game has gone to the half. Tom Brady, sharp as ever. He's got 2 touchdown passes. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore and check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Minnesota Vikings. 28-27 the final in a tight one. In the game you're watching has been Baker Mayfield with a strong first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. Taking it about the 1. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. And again, it's Chubb. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. A run for Nick Chubb. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They'll try to throw here. Mayfield. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers 21. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
18-yard line. A 3-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 7.
A give to the fullback on the dive. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
They've definitely established a rhythm on this drive, moving the ball quite well. And big man with football is an integral part of the whole thing.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
And while it didn't work very well on that play, defenders on 3rd and short know it's going to be a quick read. And really, the quarterback's just going to turn around and hand it off. So that way, you're able to diagnose the play and try and get to the point of attack. But when you're dealing with a fullback, it's hard to knock him backwards.
And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal. From the 2 now. 2nd and goal. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. It's the fullback with his 16th touchdown of the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And when the smaller guy can't power it across the goal line, Charles, sometimes you need to go with a fullback. They did. It worked.
What's that thing about force and mass? How's that?
Oh, yeah. Force equals mass times acceleration.
Oh, that's big-time stuff. That's from the same guy the apple dropped on his head, right?
And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. A 10-play drive that time. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Draw play. It's Eckler. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
It's Eckler again. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And now time is called as we've got an injured Charger down there on the field. More from L.A. in a moment. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They run with Jackson out of the gun, and they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. Really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Herbert's throw going to be caught by Henry. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. And that play, it wound up losing yardage.
And this now 3rd and 11 after that second down completion actually went back a yard. Back to throw here, Herbert. They'll set up the screen here to Justin Jackson. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that'll bring up 4th down. As they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Sam Martin now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. They begin this drive with Chubb. And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. On the give, this is their fullback. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. This is where, 4th quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
Well, you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And there's the pickup you want on 1st down. All offenses say, you get me 4 on 1st down, we'll take it. How about if you get 5? They'll really be happy.
They'll run it here. This is their fullback getting the carry. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down.
29-yard line. It's a gain of 2 yards. And it's 3rd down.
Third and short yardage, Mayfield. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Caught left side, it's Beckham. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. 7 yards there and a first down.
Browns.
Throwing, Mayfield. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off. Mayfield tosses one complete to Landry. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers 16. Big yardage there for the Browns, 18. Certainly worth noting he's now 1 catch away from 600. He's at 599 in his career. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Gano now to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will make it into the end zone. And this will come out to the 25 as Reed opts for the touchback. Heading back out, the Chargers offense. We get a peek at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's right about this time of the year that you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
Certainly is, because we all know everyone is aiming for that #1 seed. But failing that, because only 2 teams in the NFL get a bye, 1 from each conference, that question becomes who's hot? Who's peaking at the right time as you start the playoffs?
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. More from L.A. in a moment. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Here's Herbert. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Joe Reed, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Herbert. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 45. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, guys, you look up at the scoreboard. They just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And a nice job to break free of 1 tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. Now a carry here for their fullback. And they'll get to him just inside the 15. Even after the strong run we just saw, they're able to corral him quickly defensively.
A gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and inches.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he is going to have a Browns 1st down. At least it would appear that way. He didn't get it by much, but yes, they do get the conversion on 3rd and 1.
Browns.
Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Cleveland, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for the Chargers, their slim playoff hopes are gone now as they fall to 5-9. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.